What we want to do first is we want to decide whether we're going to use these two problems together or these two problems. And then what we want to do is figure out we need to eliminate one variable. We have three variables, x, y, and z. We want to eliminate one variable, and we need to eliminate it from the bottom two and then also from the top two. So no matter what, we pick either x, y, or z, and we're going to eliminate it from all three equations. That'll be our first step. So we have our choice. We can get rid of x or y or z. So let's look at it and think about how to do this. If we wanted to get rid of x, and we're using the bottom two problems here, bottom two equations here, we wanted to get rid of x, we could leave this as negative, and we multiply the top equation by 2. And then that would give us a positive 6x, which would cancel out with the negative 6x. If we wanted to get rid of y, we need to make one of these negative. So let's say we would multiply the bottom equation by negative 2. That would give us a negative 6, which would cancel out with a positive 6. And if we wanted to eliminate z, well, we could multiply the bottom equation by negative 6, which would give us a negative 6z to cancel out with a positive 6z. We need to choose one of those three variables to get rid of. So, okay, we're going to get rid of z. And so that means what we're going to need to do is we will multiply, well, I can actually show you, but we need to multiply the bottom line by negative 6, right? Because we want to get rid of the z's. So we have to multiply everything by negative 6 in order to have a negative 6z here. So it's just the distributive property, like that, and then finally over here. So we're going to use the bottom two problems. I think I already have this written out, so let's take a look. Here it is. I just wrote the negative 6 on the other side. I didn't do anything to the first problem, so I just rewrote 3x plus 6y plus 6z is equal to 6. I'll leave that as it is. But I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by negative 6. Negative 6 times negative 6x is positive 36x. Negative 6 times positive 3y is negative 18y. Negative 6 times z is negative 6z, which is what we wanted. And then negative 6 times negative 3 is positive 18. Now we can add them all together. 3 plus 36 is 39x. 6 minus 18 is negative 12y. 6 minus 6 is 0, and that's what we wanted. We wanted to get rid of the z. And now we have 6 plus 18 is 24, which is what we wanted. Okay, so we got rid of z like we wanted to. So now we have one equation that we're going to use. And we have to do the same kind of idea to the top. So let's take a look and see what we can do. We need to get rid of z, right? Well, let's look at the 5 and the 6. The only thing that's common to 5 and 6 is what we would get if we multiplied them. That's the easiest way to get there. 5 times 6 is 30, correct? And then we'll have to decide which one of these we want to make negative. So now we're going to do the top two problems together, right? And what we have to do is figure out how we're going to approach getting rid of these z's, right? We've got a 5 and a 6. The only thing that's really common is, or the easiest thing to do to find the common number is to multiply the two numbers together. So that means we're going to make 5 times 6 is 30. So we're going to make the top line have 30z and the bottom line have 30z. So we'll multiply the top by 6 and the bottom by 5 so that we'll get a 30z for both. And then the only question is which one we want to make negative. Let's take a look. This is how we decided to do it. We're going to multiply the top line by positive 6 and the bottom line by negative 5. That will give us positive 30z and negative 30z, so they'll cancel out. But we have to do it for everything. So we went through 6 times 6x is 36x. We're doing the top equation. 6 times y is 6y. 6 times 5z is positive 30z, which is what we wanted. And 6 times 13, 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 3 is 18. 60 plus 18 is 78. The bottom line, because we want these to cancel out, we do it by negative 5. Negative 5 times 3x is negative 15x. Negative 5 times positive 6y is negative 30y. Negative 5 times 6z is negative 30z, which is what we said we wanted. And then negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. Now we're ready to add these two together. 36 minus 15 is 21x. 6 minus 30, well, 30 minus 6 is 24, and it's a negative. Here's where they cancel out. 30 minus 30 is 0. And then 78 minus 30 is 48. So now we have a second equation, right? We have 21x minus 24y is equal to 48. And the other one we had from here, 39x minus 12y is equal to 24. So those are the two equations we have. So here they are. 39x minus 12y is equal to 24. 21x minus 24y is equal to 48. We decided we were going to get rid of the y's because that's a lot easier. A lot easier to just multiply the top line by negative 2. That'll give this a positive 24y, and that'll cancel with this 24y. So negative 2 times 39x is negative 78x. Negative 2 times negative 12y is positive 24y. And negative 2 times 24 is negative 48. Bring down the bottom problem, no changes. Add them together. Negative 78 plus 21, which is not really going to matter. 24y minus 24y is 0. And negative 48 plus 48 is 0. Negative 57 times what gives you 0? 0. So negative 57 times 0 is 0. We have x equals 0. We need to go back to one of our two original problems right here. These are the ones that we derived, right? And we're going to plug in 0 wherever we have x. So we decided to use the bottom one. 21 times 0 is going to be 0. And then we have negative 24y equals 48. We're using the bottom problem. So we get 0. Negative 24y is equal to 48. Have negative 24y is equal to 48. We divide by negative 24, so we just have one y. And that's 48 divided by negative 24. Y is equal to negative 2. X is equal to 0. At this point, we've got x and y. Now we finish with these. We go back to our original problems, way back here. And we choose one of these to work with. And 6x plus y plus 5z is equal to 13. We already know that x is equal to 0 and y is equal to negative 2. Plug those in. 6 times 0 plus negative 2 plus 5z is equal to 13. 6 times 0 is 0. Negative 2 plus 5z is equal to 13. We want to get rid of the negative 2, so we add 2 to both sides. What we get is no 0 over here. 5z is equal to 13 plus 2, which is 15. We want to get 1z, so we divide 5 by 5, and that'll give us 1. Got to do it for both sides. 5z is equal to 15 divided by 5. Z is equal to 15 divided by 5, which is 3. And then we're done. X is equal to 0, y is equal to negative 2, and z is equal to 3. And that's how you do it.